Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I guess you're wondering what I'm doing under the spotlight. Yeah, Grace is at church. I'm sitting here at La Playa Beach, out on the pier. Hear the waves in the background. And I got my trusty old flashlight out here because I don't have an interior light in the fan. I guess I've just been lazy to check it out. Anyway, this is the 31st of December, and I'm wishing everybody a very happy New Year. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful year coming. Well, since this is the last day of the year, go back on a little memory here. This is when I actually left the good old state of Kentucky. I was on an unknown adventure. Yeah, I researched for 7 years, but that's not like actually being in a place. And I was taking that step forward. I was taking my first real gamble in life. And you know, as I was going to the airport with my two kids, I kept asking myself, is this the right thing to do? And I couldn't answer myself. I didn't know. For once in my life, I didn't have an answer. I just knew that I was on a mission to do something different, to build a new future. And I was gambling. No, I had a recourse. I could come back home. But I had to do it within 30 days. That's where my return trip was. But my travel here was an adventure in itself. It'd been a while since I've been on a plane. Excuse me, I still have that scratchy throat. I can't remember exactly how many years it'd been. The kids were small, like maybe 5 or 6 year old, something like that. So it'd been 15 or 16 years since I've been on a plane. We arrived at the airport a little early, and I sat there and talked to my kids, and I was having second thoughts. It's hard leaving my kids behind, even though they'd grown, had lives on their own. But my daughter and son both told me it was probably a good move. So it came that time. I took that step. I boarded that plane. My first leg of the journey was from Lexington to Detroit. Roughly about 2 hours, I think. Can't remember. It's so long. 13 years. And on that flight to Detroit, the weather was getting bad. It was below zero. I can't remember exactly when I left home. And almost 2 foot of snow on the ground. And I was going north on a plane, and the weather was worse. When we landed in Detroit, had a short layover, a couple of hours, something like that. Just enough time, really, to get situated and get ready for the next flight. We boarded that second plane, and we sitting there. We wasn't going nowhere. And I looked out the window, and it was snowing so hard I couldn't see the wings. I just knew we were going to be grounded. There come this truck by, de-icing the plane. I said, I sure hope they know what they're doing. They got it all de-iced, and the weather eased up a little bit. And give me just a minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Wife mentioned me and I had to answer. She's at church. Anyway, sitting on that plane, they got it de-iced. Excuse me. And we went out on the runway, lined up for takeoff. There were several planes in front of us. And I kept thinking to myself, I wonder if those wings will ice up before we get our turn. Anyway, it got time for us to take off. We're on a roll, and I'm looking at those wings. And I can see the ice flicking off and breaking away and clearing the wing. And we was off the ground. And we climbed and leveled off, and we was on our journey. And that's a 16-hour flight to Japan. Oh, I ate good. And I drank a little bit. Not much. Had 2 or 3, something like that. I landed in Japan. That was a long flight. And had a 4-hour layover. Well, that 4 hours rolled off pretty quick, and we had to go through a security check because at that time it was high risk, and I couldn't even bring small bottles of shampoo or toothpaste or anything. And they kept a key ring that my daughter bought me at the airport in Lexington. Now that hurt my feelings. But it wasn't as bad as some of the passengers. They actually bought some drinks on the plane, bottles. I'm sure they're buying them for souvenirs, whatever. And they had to leave them behind. And they were expensive. We went through the security check and we got ready to board the next plane. And it's I think it's about a 3 or 4 hour flight from Japan to Manila. That flight went by pretty quick. I was talking to another guy coming to the Philippines. He'd made 2 trips a year to the Philippines. He had a wife, and he traveled back and forth twice a year. Made me feel a little bit better. We landed in Manila, and we went through customs and all that stuff for immigration. And that went through smoothly. And I had to go to the domestic airport. And another 4 hour layover. It's a good thing. Because time I got a shuttle and got to the domestic airport, I got about 10-15 minutes to sit down in their little lounge and take a break. Then boarding, they started accepting people to get their luggage and so forth checked in because we're going domestic flight. That's when I got shocked. My first experience in the Philippines, My luggage was overweight. Well, they don't take US dollars. I had to go to get exchanged. And it was almost $100 for my luggage. But that was okay. Then I got all that taken care of when we finally got to board the plane. And I got to fly to Cebu, to Lapa, Mactown Airport International. We landed there. I didn't have to worry about going through immigration there. But I had to get my luggage. And that went through pretty smooth. And I got out the gate there, or outside. I didn't see nobody. Grace wants to meet me. I didn't see nobody. I was unaware that people waiting on people to arrive, that'd be across the street. They wouldn't allow them near the entrance of where you exit. Finally, some people were jumping up and down trying to get my attention. Grace's family. It's the first time I've seen Grace in person. I was shocked. She was small. Very small. But God, she still had those amazing eyes. And I took everybody out for breakfast. It just had gotten daylight. My flight arrived at 5:15. And then we off to the house I rented. And I was exhausted. 27 hours. So we get to the house and I take a shower and I crash. One of these days I'll add a little bit more to the story. Thought y'all might want to be interested in what happened 13 years ago. And everybody have a wonderful New Year. And I really appreciate everybody that's hung in there with me this year. And hopefully we can do better next year. So enjoy. Stay tuned.